I said I was going to start addressing. Relationships and dealing with certain type of relationships. What about the relationship you have with yourself? How do you feel about yourself? Okay, and that's what they call self-esteem. But I'm going to go a little bit different with the self-esteem. How do you feel about yourself? How do you feel? Do you like yourself? Do you like the way you look? Do you like the people you're communicating with? Do you like your job? Do you like your family? Do you like where you're going in life? Do you like these things about yourself? And have you ever took that time to really be like, how do I feel about myself? Like, people talk about talking to themselves like it's something that people say crazy, even though crazy is not a mental health term. We'll address that. Welcome to Disruptive Minds. I'm your host, Jerome A. Carter, and the A stand for always learning. So when I talk about how do you feel about yourself, it's like, how do you feel about yourself as a whole person? How do you feel about yourself? Some people don't like themselves, but then they never go into why they don't like themselves. So what I propose to you is to do this simple exercise. Sit somewhere quiet. Like right now, it's relatively quiet. And just write down, what do I need to change in my life? On a pencil and paper. We talked about pencil and paper. With a pencil and paper, write, what do I need to change in my life? Turn your phone off or down, flip it over, sit quiet, and wait. You hear that? The silence that you're going to get is the initial, let's say it's the initial clearing to see if you really want the answer. See, sometimes people say things to themselves, they really don't want the answer. So when your subconscious hear you saying something like that, it's like, okay, I'll wait. The brain is already just sitting there saying like, okay, we'll wait. Because the brain knows it has nothing to do with it. The brain knows it has nothing to do with him. When you sit down and you write something down and you sit there and you're quiet, the brain has already did its job. The brain's going to just like, it's the subconscious that's going to start the ball rolling. Okay? So when you're quiet, what do I need to change in my life? Pencil and paper. Pen and paper. It has to be written. It can't be typed. Don't type it into what do I need to change in my life? Because doing this, typing something in, is different than actually scribing something. You say, Rome, my writing's not good. Rome, my writing. Doesn't matter. Write it as how you want to write it. My writing is relatively box writing. What do I mean by box writing? It's like basically capital letters written small. Because I wrote a lot of statements when I was in law enforcement. So what I did was I learned how to write the box letters, but I wrote them small so they look like normal writing. So my handwriting is pretty clear because it's almost like type. It's almost like typewriter. When you see something that I've written, it's almost like it's almost like typewriting. Like, let me show you something. Okay. This is just, let me see the camera focus on that. See that? That's about relationships. Gaslighting. These are notes that I wrote. That's how I write. I write in a way that when somebody can come behind me and see what I wrote, they basically know what I wrote. I don't write in cursive. My writing's not, women tend to write in circles. You ever see women when they write, they tend to write in circles. I'm not a handwriting specialist. However, I do know the difference between men and women when they write. It's one of the many things I've learned. Or I've taught myself. Let me say that right. But by sitting there and writing that out and sitting there and not saying, what do I need to change about my life or what can I do different? Whatever sentence or whatever question you want to write it and sit there and just be quiet. Eventually, the subconscious is going to be like, all right, he's ready. Let me start giving him what he needs. And that's what most people don't want. They don't want to hear that. And that's where the sex, alcohol, drugs, food, and work, the 5 coping skills comes in. The average person does not want to hear that type of stuff. Because they don't want to hear it, you keep going through the same processes over and over and over again. People like me who can actually sit quiet, write things down, as I got to show you my notes, writing things down, your subconscious, my subconscious is pretty much clear at all times, because I'm constantly writing things down. I'm constantly evaluating myself. Some people may say that you're doing too much, but I tell you what, I sleep very well. I don't toss and turn, and I don't have issues during the day. I don't try to block things out, because I'm at peace with myself. I have peace of mind. Back to peace of mind, back to Pam. It's very little that gets me rattled. Very little that gets me rattled. I mean, very little. And because very little gets me rattled, I can focus on other things I need to get done, which is purpose, aim, and mission, back to Pam. And then talking like this and speaking to men and getting them to be better men is not, one of the things I've learned is not being negative to women. So let me finish that sentence out. It's not being negative to women. It's just that you're focused on yourself. You love yourself first. If you don't love yourself first, then all the other things really don't matter. And a lot of people don't love themselves, right? A lot of people don't love themselves. And that's why they're able to get turned and moved all around. They don't love themselves. They don't enjoy being around themselves. They got to be around other people. They got to be the sex, alcohol, drugs, food, and work. They have to do all these other things. They don't love themselves. There's something going on in here that's making them not love themselves. All I'm saying is, if you write it out and look at it, you can start addressing these issues. A lot of people don't want to do that. They don't want to address the issues. Some stuff is bigger than other stuff. I'm not saying everybody needs therapy, because they don't. All men don't need therapy. All men need to sit by themselves and focus on themselves. Okay? Let me say that again. All men don't need therapy, but all men do need to sit by themselves and focus on themselves. We're not taught that. We're always taught to pour out. Make sure this is okay. Make sure that is okay. Make sure the wife's okay. Make sure the kids are okay. Make sure the job is okay. Make sure that we're always pouring out, but nobody's pouring back in. You feel me? We're always pouring out as men. Well, women pour out too. Let's address that. Because I speak positive, give men a thumbs up, don't mean I'm giving a woman a thumbs down. Let me say it again. Because I'm giving men a thumbs up does not mean I'm giving women a thumbs down. But in today's society, when you talk positive and try to talk and address men, it's like you're dissing women. And that goes back to my video that I made called Do Men Suffer in Silence? You should go listen to it. And that's why men suffer in silence, because it's like, if I say anything positive about men, somebody's going to say, you don't like women. Who hurt you? And this, that. And it's just like, men are just like, that's not how it works. So our brain works more logically. Their brain works more emotionally. That's what I talk about RBMs, raised by mom. That's when I see men who are raised by mom. They're highly emotional, highly irrational, and highly illogical. Because women are typically that. Oh, you're talking bad about women? We would shut you down and cancel you and all this. And it's just like, damn. And so what do men do? They don't say nothing. And that's one of the reasons why you have the men who do say things. Women are strong and women are this and women are the queens and women are, on top of it. Women magic and women. And that's why those men are just gone and do the stratosphere. Views and likes and money, and it just because they're pumping up that ego that's already there. But then you got a guy like me who says something that's supportive of men, and I'm focusing on men, and it's like, why don't you focus on women? There's enough people focusing on women. What about the men? Yeah, but what about the women? What about the men? We need better men for those women. You keep saying men need to do better. Okay, you got me. I'm out here trying to make men better. If nothing else, try to make men's minds clear so that they're able to focus on other things. They're able to be okay by themselves. A lot of men are not okay by themselves. There are lots of men who are not okay by themselves because they haven't went through this process of liking themselves first. That's probably one of the biggest issues that people have with Trump. Trump loves himself. But loving himself doesn't necessarily take energy away from doing what's right for other people. And that's where the whole politics back and forth, I'm not going there with you. Slow down. All I'm trying to say is, when a man loves himself, he's able to give better to others. Am I saying Trump is that person? I'm not saying Trump is that person. I'm just saying men in general, the everyday men that I see walking around every day don't love themselves, so they're able to give more. It's easier to give more when you have a full cup versus a half a cup. Today's men are walking around with half a cup. And because you have half a cup, it's hard to keep pouring into all these other cups, because who pours into you? Sex, alcohol, drug, food, and work. You use those things to pour into you because you're constantly pouring out. You start doing things for yourself, people think, oh, you're selfish, you don't care about others, and blah, blah, blah. You hear self-care all the time when it comes to women. When men talk about self-care, it's like, self-care and manis, and manicures, pedicures, and going to get massages and stuff like that. Now you hear more of that communication talking about men need to take care of themselves more. It's 2024. And now we're having this conversation. 11 years have passed, and now we're having this conversation. But we're so far past. There's no going back. And that's why men are like disengaged, especially younger men. They're disengaged from society. They're disengaged. They're just like, we don't want to be bothered. It's too stressful. We're going to do our own thing. We're going to blah, 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 XYZ. Because they realized something that it took the Generation X a little longer to realize, that they say that song go, they don't care about us, by Michael Jackson. It's particularly the black man. Because, come on, let's be honest. The system did not expect the black men to still be around this long. Through all the things that were put up against the black man, the black women too. And that's where the issue comes in at. Whenever you say the black man, you got to say the black woman too, but a lot of times those two don't go the same with each other. And as black men, we know that we're not being treated the same way black women are being treated. And black women think they're being treated worse than how black men are being treated. What you want me to do? Just suffer in silence. That's not an option. At least not for me. That's not an option. I'd be damned to suffer in silence. I'd be damned to suffer. I'd be damned to be in a situation where I'm depressed. I'd be damned to be in a situation where I'm stressed. I'd be damned to be in a situation where there's turbulence. I'm out. I'm gone. Boop. Remember I told you about that? Boop. Gone. I am gone. I am so gone. If I have to, I'd rather live in this corner Walmart parking lot for the next 20 years than be stressed, depressed. No, I can't do it. I just can't. I can't. Because I got peace of mind. I know what it is. I know how to get it. I know where it is. I'm in it. You think I'm going to give that up for what? What am I going to give that up for? How can you use $1 million to go and do this? Nah. Yeah, it sounds good, but how about you give me $500,000 and I can still keep doing what I want to do? I'll do what you want me to do, half-ass it, but I'm still going to keep being me. Well, no, you can't do that. Either you go all in or all out. It's like being married or divorced. You can't be in the middle. These relationships where you're in a relationship for 2 or 3, 4 years. What are y'all doing, man? What are y'all doing in these old ass relationships? What are y'all doing, man? I'm gonna keep saying it. What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? Where is this going? What are y'all doing? If it's not gonna happen, cut it loose. What's, well, you know, it's always some goddamn excuse. But I can always guarantee you're stressed. One way or the other, you're stressed in the relationship that you're in. I can guarantee it, especially in 2024. I can guarantee you've probably been in it so long now where you're just like, it is what it is. Ah, that pisses me off when I hear that. It is what it is. It is. Do you know men die sooner than anybody else on this planet? Men die sooner than women. Black men in America die about 77, so I'll give you 80. I'm almost 50, that's 30 more years. And you think I want to be on some whole, it is what it is. No! There's no way. There's no way. I promise you, there's no way. That I'm gonna just walk around, it is what it is, and just keep eating shit. Just keep eating it. Every day. It is what it is. If I leave her, it's cheaper to keep her. You have no idea what stress and tension and all that other stuff is dealing with every day you come home because it's cheaper to keep her, but you're not thinking about your stress levels. You're not thinking about the pressure levels. That stuff plays a factor. You've seen homeless people, they be living for years because their stress levels less. You living under a bridge on that shit. I'm not saying go homeless. I'm just saying their stress level compared to people who are running the rat race and is running the merry-go-round of life. And I got to get up and it's time to go. There's an old commercial, Dunkin' Donuts in Pittsburgh, where the guy was like, I got to make the donuts. I got to make the donuts. Then he woke up one day and he saw himself saying, I already made the donuts. When you're just constantly on this circus wheel, you're constantly on this merry-go-round. So I talk about merry-go-rounds. You have nothing accomplished in your life. Nothing. Nothing accomplished. Nothing. Ask yourself, sit down quietly, what have I accomplished in my life? And if you say kids, wrong answer. Kids are easy. You can make kids by accident. Let's not get it really twisted. You can make kids by accident. One bus, boom, kid. Come on now. Don't make it seem like you had to go to college and get a 4-year engineering degree to make a kid. Nah, it was a one-time thing. Met a girl at the club, boom, kid. Let's not use kids. Other than kids, what have you accomplished in your life? I'll wait. Okay. So don't do that. What have you accomplished? What have you done? You've done. What list have you checked off? Now, I'm not saying I'm better than anybody. Yeah, but I'm better than a lot of people. I think that's a little contradictory. Meh. But I've accomplished so many things in my life already that right now I'm just going through a transition. We're going through the fact that I don't want to work the corporate world. I can't go back to trucking. I don't want to do policing anymore. I don't want to drive trucks. It's just like, okay, what's my next level for the next 30 plus years? Because me, I'm so in tune with my peace of mind. I'm so in tune with my God. My God. I'm going through this process of figuring this thing out. Because it's not always clear. Back to the original. Do you like yourself? How's your relationship with you? How is that going? Is it going good? Is it going great? Are you at the weight you want to be, the people you want to be? How is your relationship with yourself? When you wake up, are you disgusted? Or you wake up, are you okay? And be honest with yourself. You ain't got to be honest with me. Because you look yourself in the mirror and you're like, I'm not happy with this. You need to start making changes immediately.